if there is a type of game or a genre of game that I don't really like, it's gonna be Souls-like games. It's clunky, it's slow, it's unresponsive, it's just like too much, in my opinion. But anyway, hey everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I approach making a Souls-like game that I think is suitable for someone who likes a faster pace. So this is my own take on it. It's not a clone. I mean, it is kind of like a clone, but just take bits and pieces from a Souls-like game, the philosophy behind it, and it has some mechanic of Souls-like game. And so yeah, if you want to support the project, if you want to support the channel, you can download the project file on my Ko-fi page, link down the description below. If you want to play the game, you can play it. You can download it on itch.io for free. You can just download it, the demo. And so yeah, let's just get to the the mechanic overview. So of course it's a third person. You have parry, you have attack, and and then let me put them in the stagger state. It has dash, and also it has stagger, so you can just attack the enemy freely. It has alternate attack as well, and so that's basically the mechanic that I put inside the game. And I'm going to talk about the animation side of things, the VFX, the sound effect, the sound design, and the things that I learned from making this project. Without further ado, let's just get into the first topic that I want to talk about, which is the animation. So for the animation side of things, I did everything inside Blender. The animation, the rigging, the texturing, the modeling of the creatures, and the characters is done in Blender. So the thing that I did is, or the thing that I noticed is that Souls-like usually have like a long startup, and then the swing also a little bit slow compared to other action game. And then it has like also lengthy recovery animation. And I think is one thing that you need to notice as well, that you need to animate the recovery frames. Sometimes people forget about that. Sometimes my students kind of like, oh, I just interpolate it in game engine. Yes, you can do that, but if the animation is not too drastically different, the end frame, but yeah, anyway, so that's what you need to do. Add a little bit of a recovery frames to set things up, and then do the transition inside the game engine. So for example, like this one, so this is what it looks like, inside the game engine. Let it load a minute, takes a while. So the animation player, so here we go. Slash, where's the slash? There you go. So if you scroll down, I also use the function keyframe. So it has like the swing also. So if you see like this, attack dash, if your attack or the slashing animation needs the player to move, then you need to have a function that kind of like move the model forward or the character nodes forward, and you can assign it into a function. And then the function is just a function that says, well, add velocity to the parent node, which is the kinematic character node, and then add this much speed. You can also assign like a variable here and then add keyframes to that variable or arguments. But yeah, anyway, a 3 seems to be fine for me. But anyway, attack dash and then activate. So it means that you can cancel off the animation, and then attack recover. The recovery also is not at the end, but it's kind of like in between, right? You can actually put it a little bit forward, and then after it reached this point, the character will transition back. And also one thing that you need to set is that the transition in the states here. So I have several states in the animation node here, the transition node. There's like the base, attack, guard, dash, and damaged. So for example, it's starting from the attack, and then it will transition for 0.1 seconds with this fading curve, and then it will make the animation a lot smoother. So you don't need to wait for the animation to end. So for example, like animation /1, excuse me, why didn't play? Here we go. So animation /1, here we go. So it doesn't really need to wait until the timeline hits 1 here, or 0.98 or finally the animation to be transitioned, because we put the keyframe of the function that says in this frame or in this time, in this seconds, you need to transition to be able to be controlled, right? So this kind of like just make things smoother. So that's for the animation on the characters. Other than that, I think nothing is interesting. Everything is already covered on my other video. So if you want to check that out, just check that out. So yeah, let's move on a little bit to the sound design. For the audio side of things, I did the editing inside Audacity. It's a free tool. Again, if you want to see what kind of tools or what kind of resources that I use inside the game, you can check out my other video that talk about resources for beginner. But anyway, the things that I learned from, or the things that I noticed from Souls-like game is that it has kind of like a deep, bassy, low frequency dominant sound. So even though it is kind of like having that bright sound, but it's always kind of like have that lower frequency impact, right? So like this is the parry sound that I use. Basically, I added a little bit of an impact, like low impact tone. So if we listen to the to the normal sound or the original sound that I got from Sonis. Also, if you want to check out the resources, you can check on the other video. But anyway, so I don't know if you wear headphone, and maybe it will sound a little bit better, but that sounds a little bit kind of like thin, bright. There's no lower frequency sound, almost non-existent, but it's there, but it's not the dominant. But then if we add that kind of like low thud like impact, okay, let me, so it has some sort of like a percussive kind of quality to it, where it tells that it is impactful, and it just spread even better in terms of mix. But again, you need to be mindful of the music. Maybe if you have like a lower end in terms of music mixing, then maybe it's not going to be as impactful. But if you listen to my game, it doesn't really have any music. It's just like an ambient sound, and this works just fine. And I did this to every single sound, almost like the parry, like this one, the parry, and the attack, and what is sound as well, and yeah, any other that you might want an impact. But maybe you need to avoid this, maybe like healing and stuff. Healing is not really need to be impactful, so you need to have lower end. So yeah, be mindful of that. So that's the sound design that I noticed. Give a lower impact or a lower frequency impact, just to make it spread even more, in terms of like make the sound effect feels a little bit thicker and more impactful. Let's talk a little bit about the VFX. And for the VFX side of things, one thing that may be a little bit different from the things that I used to share in this channel, or that I always share in this channel, is that the usage of flipbook animation. So flipbook animation is basically you take a sprite animation and then assign it into a particle system, right? Like what I did here. How do I did that? Basically, I just create a mask inside, or animation, the sprite animation inside After Effects. So this is the animation itself, the mask, so on and so forth, and then add a little bit of details to it, and then add a little bit of stylization, like the inner shadow and bevel and emboss, to add that more 3D look. I don't know how to say it. It has a little bit more volume. And then I export that into PNG sequence, and then oh, this is another tool that I don't have a chance to talk about before, but this is Free Texture Packer. You can get it from this site, which is freetextpacker.com, or you can just Google freetexturepacker.com. So it's a tool to kind of like make a sprite sheet, because that's what the particle systems require or need to show the animation. One thing that maybe you need to know as well, the method here, like you need to set it to bottom left rule, because if you use another rule, like another method, then it will not have that sequential, I don't know, sequential sequence. I don't know, like a proper sequence. So this is frame 0, and this is the last frame, right? Frame 27, basically. So that's, yeah. And also you need to play with the width and height, you know, like if you want to be like that, you can do that. But I think this is a little bit more, square-ish, with no wasted space, so I just use this measurement as the measurement. And this is the final product. Well, this is the same in this, what is on the screen, but that's basically what I did for the VFX. Talk a little bit about the material here. I actually have a custom shader with the flipbook function, kind of like, you know, it's easy to do, but I think I'll talk about this in next video. It's gonna be like its own 5-minute segments maybe on how to make this flipbook. But yeah, stay tuned, subscribe if you want to see that, or maybe leave in the comment below what you want to know about the VFX itself, and just add this / animation. And yeah, sometimes I have a student that asks, what do you do with the VFX? So you just instantiate it. Yes, you instantiate to the scene, to the world, and then you have this duration, kind of like what is it, thingy, like alive, like a particle live, and then you set it like whatever, like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and then after that life is ended, then you need to cue free, or you need to delete the nodes. You might see maybe here like there is a visible buffer larger than delta, so you need to make the VFX invisible before or not in frame 1, excuse me, you need to make it invisible in frame 1 and then make it visible in frame 2. Basically, this is what it did to mitigate the visual artifacts caused by the motion blur. If you're using motion blur by Sphinx owner, I think I talked about that before. So is it, yeah, the compositor, the motion blur usually have that visual artifact. If you instantiate the VFX and then frame 0 and then it move in frame 1 to another position, it will kind of like interpolate that as a movement, or interpret it as a movement, hence it will create a visual artifact. So to avoid that, I make it invisible first and then visible in the second frame, so you kind of like lose 1 frame of visibility, but whatever, nobody really cares, right? So yeah, that's the VFX side of things. So that concludes everything that I find interesting about the development of this game, of this project. Let me know what you think. Play the game. Did you beat it? So on and so forth. If you have any questions about anything, please also leave in the comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all of that jazz. So yeah, I want to know also, what do you think about like me making like an online course about this game, you know, start from scratch, and then, or maybe just walk through the code and explaining like the concepts and stuff. Let me know if you are interested in that. And so yeah, I guess that's it. My name is Danggara, signing out. See you next time, and bye. Or maybe stick around, watch me style on this creature. 1, 2, there's an exploit here. All right, move. Oh my god, I don't have stamina. Oh my god. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.